Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz test postmortem. This is a postmortem of my Blitz game number 264. I was white here, kicked off with e4, and my opponent played d5, the center counter. Now, I've been wanting for a while to try out a different line in the center counter. Normally I play, I take first, and then if knight f6, I usually play d4, the main move, just develop my pieces normally. So d4, knight here, maybe bishop here to break any potential pins, and then the c pawn comes to c3 or c4 depending on what black does, and quite a comfortable setup for white. But there's a different way to play it, which is to play the move c4. It looks like you're trying to hold on to the pawn, but that's not the main idea, and I'll show you the main idea. If black continues with c6, which he didn't play in this game, then you play d4 here. Rather than trying to hold on to the pawn, you just give it up and then develop your knight. And what this is, we've suddenly transposed from a center counter to a Caro-Kann Panov Botvinnik attack. And so that's a line I've been trying to learn in the Caro-Kann. So if you remember this position here, let's back up. The Caro-Kann would go e4, c6, d4, d5, takes, c4, knight here, knight f6, knight c3. And you see we got to exactly the same position. So those two openings can actually transpose into one another with the right move order. But if we go back to the game, what he actually played at this point after e4, d5, takes, knight f6, c4, he played e6. And so this is slightly different. I went ahead with this idea of playing d4. It looks like in this position maybe I'm a little better off taking the pawn. Okay, well, I'll try that next time. But anyway, I went ahead with my idea of playing d4. And it looks like, yeah, black has a decent position after this. So already I have got in trouble with my opening experiment. But this is a good game to watch from the point of view of black. I think black develops up a very nice attack here. So watch his moves. He's playing all the nice, they're very logical moves, but he's getting all his pieces out, and he's developing with threats. So have to do something about that. Okay, we're out of the book at this point. Might as well look at the notation tab. And then he castles here. Once again, this gives me an opportunity to take on e6, and I should probably do that. But I was still playing with the idea of not playing a gambit, but just playing with the central pawns. He takes, and I develop a bishop. And maybe that was a mistake. What's the engine recommend instead of bishop g5? Bishop to d3. Yeah, just showing up the center and blocking the... bishop d3. Yeah, developing the other bishop first, so I'm quicker to castle. Because he's very quick on the e-file here. He's got two pieces out. Yeah, black is already equalized, and with bishop d3 maybe I can still play for something. So I play bishop g5, and I was expecting rook e8 check, but he played queen e8 check, which unpins the knight. And now I play bishop e2, and still surviving here. I'm not in trouble yet. And he goes in with knight e4, taking advantage of the fact that his knight has become unpinned. He's attacking the bishop, he's attacking the knight, and I should just retreat my bishop back to bishop d2. Just play this move. And I thought about this move. I saw this move, and I just didn't think that was going to be good for very much, but the move I played is worse. So if I'm not going to play... if I'm not going to retreat the bishop, I need to shore up this knight somehow, and rook c1 is the best way to shore it up. But I played queen c2, which is a move in certain other positions, I guess in the Nimzo-Indian and similar positions you can play this. But here it runs into bishop f5. So you see, once again, black is another good move from black, right? He's developing a piece and making this threat. And my position is really pretty awkward here. The move that keeps me in the game here is queen c1, which I really didn't think of. The threat by the way, the threat is just knight to g3. The knight on g3 defends the bishop, attacks my queen, and attacks my rook. So it's a double attack and will cost me the exchange. So queen c1, I need to stay in touch with this knight because there's still threats against the knight. So queen c1 gets out of this discovered attack. So I didn't discover that. I thought of a few different moves and none of them seemed to work out. So I just castled and allowed him to play knight g3, which he did. And now I need to move the queen out of the way. But here, this is very interesting. It's stronger for black to take on c3. So let's take a look at this. He's taking the knight. I was thinking, well, the queen is the bishop is undefended here. But of course, he can take my bishop a check. That's the other problem in these lines, is that the queen here. So this bishop is hanging in a lot of these lines. In this case, I wasn't even trying to defend the bishop. I was grabbing his bishop. So I really don't have anything better than taking. And so he would have just been up a piece at that point. Instead, he played knight g3. And so now I can escape with a move like queen to b3, it says here. Queen b3 or bishop to d3. Right. Okay, so there's a double attack on my bishop. And I probably need to move it out of the way. What did I play? I played queen d2. Yeah, well, there's two things going on. There's an attack on my bishop and an attack on my queen. So bishop d3 solves both problems, and that's the way to do it. So he could take here, and then grab on f1. And he's won the exchange, but I've got a lot of active pieces, so maybe this isn't too awful. Knight takes d5. I can throw in this knight takes d5 move. That's pretty interesting because his knight is trapped. So I can gather a pawn. How about, yeah, he would play knight takes h2, knight takes h2. Okay, so we reached kind of a steady situation here, and bishop back to, no, bishop to d6. Yeah, he retreats his bishop because it's still under attack from my knight. And the situation is, I have 3 pieces in a rook. He has 2 rooks and 2 pieces. So he's won the exchange. I have a pawn for the exchange, and I have activity. So I've actually gotten to kind of an even position there. So that would be after, in this position, after, yeah, bishop d3. That's the way to equalize. Also, queen b3 is an idea, just attacking his bishop. Let's take a look at that. He can take here with check, or he can take on c3 first. If he takes on c3, I should take his knight. Then he can grab here, and I can grab here. And this is not too bad. It says queen takes b7 is better. Yeah, the computer is good for finding these moves. Or if he takes the bishop with tempo. But I still have my knight here. And now he can either grab my knight and I grab his bishop, or he can retreat the bishop, or defend the bishop with knight a6, and then I have to move my knight. And the game would continue. Okay, so none of that happened. I didn't see that line. And in fact, yeah, I didn't really see a way to deal with this double threat of attacking my queen and attacking my bishop. I guess I didn't fully appreciate this bishop was hanging. I played queen to d2, getting away from his bishop, and now he can just grab material here. So he played bishop takes c3 first, which the engine approves of, and then he grabs on e2. So king h1 is the only move, and I was still had some hopes for this game because he's a piece up. But where is this knight going? Like, it has no moves at all. So every square is covered. So I thought, well, if I win that piece back, then maybe this is still a playable game. So he did an interesting move here. He played d takes c4. f6 was a choice there too, kicking my bishop. I play my rook here, And then he brings his bishop into d3, defending his knight. So he's not moving it away and giving it up for a pawn. He's just holding on to it. And now I missed another move here. Knight to g1, just putting more pressure on his knight. He can't really move it effectively except to g3, where it goes with check, but then I can take it with a pawn. So after knight to g1, the game might go f6, kicking my bishop, and bishop to f4. Why would I go there? The knight. Oh, the knight's still pinned. That's right. Oh, that's interesting. He has to move the queen, and then I can snag another pawn over here. So queen to f7, I take. So I'm down a piece, but I have just one extra pawn, but these are central pawns and his piece isn't developed. Huh. So the game could go on that way. Not that impressive. Yeah, it's just not that easy to round up that knight. It's funny. What I played was bishop e3, covering the defense of the knight, and I was planning to maneuver my knight to e5 so I could take the bishop, grab the pawn, and then finally round up that knight. So I still had hopes of gathering the knight, but he plays knight to c6. That stops my plan of knight e4. So I just grab the material that I can with rook takes e2. The engine approves of this one, at least. Bishop takes, queen takes. And now I'm down the exchange and also a pawn. He has an extra pawn on the queen side. Didn't think it was totally hopeless, but clearly black has a real strong edge. He just got this advantage out of the opening and never really let go of it. Continues to develop his pieces, and he's also very tactically alert in this game. So my move rook takes b7 is just a blunder because of what he plays. He has this move knight takes d4, which he discovered almost instantly. And maybe he'd been thinking about this ahead of time, that he could leave this undefended because this knight takes. Anyway, this is a very nice tactic. When he moves his knight here, even though it's apparently on a square, I can take the knight. It opens up a discovered attack on my knight, and it attacks my queen simultaneously. So anyway, I have nothing better than to grab his knight. It says bishop takes d4 is maybe a little better, but it's all downhill from here. So now I'm down 2 exchanges. But the game's not over. I keep playing. I give my king a little lift so I don't get mated in the back rank. And he kicks me around. I had ideas of knight here. Let's see, could I have played that instead of h3? Probably not. No, I'm getting mated, so I have no time for knight f5. And then he kicks my knight. Oh yeah, I needed to kind of set up knight f5. Right now knight f5 doesn't work because of check and take knight. So I can't play that. It's another tactic. So if the knight goes here, his queen goes here with a double attack on my knight and the king. So a lot of interesting tactics in this game. Unfortunately, none of them were in my favor. So he chases my queen around, and I try a few maneuvers with my knight and stuff. What happened there? Oh, I started going backwards. Okay, queen goes here. Knight comes out. Yeah, I'm just hoping for anything here, but there's nothing. I gave up another piece to try and get some kind of perpetual or something, but now this is an easily winning endgame. And after c3, I resign because there's no way I can stop this pawn from queening. I have the idea, well, like knight check, then here he moves the pawn, and then knight here gets there just in time to stop the pawn. Unfortunately, I'd have to go through this square here, whereas rook can just take the knight, so that doesn't work. And if the knight goes the other way, knight here, pawn there, knight here maybe, pawn there, and he's queens first. So no way to stop the pawn from queening. So I resign. That's how the game ended. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Pretty nice play from black, I think. It shows the importance of being tactically alert. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.